Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the Art Studio. I'm Charles Maring, and today we're talking wireless audio for video. And what I've done is I've pulled up different microphones that we can test side by side. One being the RodeLink microphone, one being the Sennheiser G series. We also have a Tram TR-50, which is kind of an industry-leading third-party microphone. And then we have the new kid on the block. This is the Saramonic UW Mic 9, and we're comparing this microphone to the others as well. So we're going to dive into all of these different topics and more, so stay tuned. So I was out at WPPI in Las Vegas, and a buddy of mine introduced me to Saramonic. And this is their new UW Mic 9 system, and as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I would love to test this. If this works, I will do more dual audio in our studio. So they gave me the opportunity to test it out along with a couple of other of their new mics. We'll be doing that here on our channel and see how it stacks up. So first and foremost, I wanted to see how the audio between each of these microphone systems works. How good are the microphones and how good does this stack up to them, certainly. So let me just first say that this room is not the best for audio. Concrete floors, tall ceilings, we get a lot of reverb. I can hear my voice echoing as I speak now. But what I did was I mounted each mic center of chest, and we did kind of the same thing with each mic. And that way you can kind of at least get a fair comparison. Right now I'm running a Tram mic through the Saramonic system. We'll talk about why afterwards and why choosing the right mic for the assignment can kind of make all the difference in how good your audio is. But that's kind of the cool part here. There is a 3.5mm 1/8" plug, and that means I could run any of these mics on this system or their mic on any of the other systems. So kind of beautiful in that way. So let's fade to black now, listen to each of the microphones and get a feel for the difference between them. Now we're listening to the Tram TR-50. This is one of my favorite microphones on the market out there for high-end lapel mics. I would listen to the bass of the voice, kind of get a feel for how this sounds. Also listen to the midtones, see how the roll-off is. Listen to the high end as well. This should give you a pretty good perspective of how this microphone sounds comparatively. Now we're listening to the Sennheiser microphone from the G series of wireless units. Gives you a good perspective of this. Definitely listen to the low end of the voice and the midtones and roll off, and the high end as well. Should give you a pretty good perspective of how this mic sounds comparatively. So this is the Rode mic. This is the lapel that comes with the RodeLink system. Definitely listen to the depth of the voice and how deep it is. Listen to the midtones and how it rolls off a little bit, and also try to pinpoint some of those highlights, and that should give you kind of a good idea of how this mic sounds in comparison to the others. So right now we're listening to the Saramonic mic. This is how clear it sounds. This is the levels that you can expect out of it. Listen to the depth of the voice and how deep it is. Those are good things to kind of check and see how good the quality of mic is. Listen certainly to the midtones as well as the high ends. This should give you a pretty good perspective. So as you can hear for yourself, all of these mics sound good. It's just a personal taste thing and a preference. The Saramonic mic, what I liked about that is it had a kind of a nice deep bass to the voice. The Tram TR-50 was a little bit lifted, nice high end, nice roll off. The others fell somewhere in between. But I would be proud to use any of these microphones on any professional assignment because they sound good. With that said, let's dive into dual audio and how complicated it can be. Now, typically, if you're running a single microphone, no problem. You have one transmitter, one receiver. The receiver would sit right on top of here, and we would plug out of here to our mic port on the side of our camera. It's a simple thing. When we want to do dual microphones, though, it gets a little more complicated because now we need a couple of different things. One option is to have something like this. This is a Sound Devices Mix Pre-D. It's an industry-leading preamp, 2 XLR inputs. It's a mixer on the back. There's so many things that you can do with this. I loved this system early on in my career when I was starting to do dual audio. But then the only problem is you have to now have the XLR cables, 2 of them plugging into here, and then come out of here into your mic port with another cable, and it just becomes kind of a complicated mess. Panasonic Lumix actually did something really cool that was the bridge for that, where we could get rid of this heavy bass unit. And they created this system here, which mounts on top of the hot shoe. It's powered by the hot shoe. And you have 2 XLR inputs here, which is a beautiful thing. But then the downside of this is, again, you still need these XLR cables. Now need a bracket on top of this to mount to receivers. And now, once again, we're back to that wiry kind of mess of things as well. So dual audio is kind of a pain in the butt, and why we skip it for our vlog and whatnot. But this system would make our lives a lot easier, and I would certainly turn to it more if it was that simple as having just one little thing on top. And it is that simple. We recently did a test in our studio, miking myself and Jennifer. Worked beautiful in our studio space, and right now you're kind of hearing what we're getting out of it here in this space as well. That said, let's dive into the price points and kind of compare from that perspective as well. I'm over on the B&H site here, and we'll take a look at the Saramonic Mic 9 first. 2 transmitters, 1 receiver, up to 8 mics on set, they're saying. 330-foot range, kind of gives you an idea of that at $398, so $400 for that. The Tram TR-50 microphone alone is $233.95 for its little kit here, so you get an idea of what that cost. The Sennheiser G series is running $600. They say up to 12 mics on set with a 330-foot range. But you only get 1 transmitter, 1 receiver, 1 mic. And then if we look over at the RodeLink Filmmaker Kit, it's $399 and 330-foot range, 8 mics on stage, 1 transmitter, 1 receiver. So most certainly the price point on this system is really fantastic. Assuming it works really well for us. I will say that I have not tested the range yet. We've tested dual audio. One of the cool things is, yes, you can run dual mono like we are now with it, or you can run stereo, and that means when we can go left channel, right channel, and when we get back to our editor, mix it at that point. There's also another cool receiver I'll mention that's an XLR input receiver. I'll put links to all of this most certainly on our site. And this does pull 2-channel audio as a receiver, but what's unique about it is that it plugs into an XLR port, and it swivels. So if you've got like a camcorder or cinema camera, you need to get it out of the way of wires or something else. It's kind of a nice thing to have there. There is also, it comes with a hot shoe adapter and an XLR plug, 2 1/8 inch. So you can plug that into your mic port that way as well. So there's a couple different ways you can actually get this system in terms of what comes with it. So I want to mention really quickly, yes, I'm running the Tram TR-50 now. And the reason being is earlier in our test, I said I mic'd all of them the same kind of mid-level chest right in the center. But we get a lot of reverb in this room. And so what I love about the Tram mic and why I use this in this room is that the microphone on it faces forward, and then I can spin it around, put just kind of like a little furry on it, and tape it to my chest up here. And now I'm getting more of that chest voice and kind of canceling out a little bit of the reverb, at least. Just an easier way to do it. So yeah, choosing the right mic for the situation is important. That's kind of the beautiful thing about the 3.5mm plug-in on this system and all the others as well. So kind of gives you an idea of everything that we have here. Oh, one thing we should mention, size and weight. Let's look at this compared to others. I will say this is a solid metal construction on all sides, so it's a little bit heavier, but that's kind of a nice thing. The build quality is all there. Screen lights up beautifully. If we look at the RodeLink comparatively, the RodeLink is much larger. It's a little bit lighter, but it's a plastic construction, very well made though. I'll say really nice plastic construction. If we look at the Sennheiser G series, almost identical in size. This is a plastic and kind of composite metal structure here. So I think the build quality on this is actually up in the game a little bit. But all of these systems have worked well for us. I did not need a new wireless system by any means. As you can see, I've got lots of everything. But when I saw this, I knew that it would make a difference in when we do dual audio, and we would do it more often if this does work out to our benefit. I do want to test the range and all of those good things to put it to rest. But with that said, that's kind of a comparison of all the different units, a few different microphones, and that's a wrap for today. Appreciate you, everybody. You guys have a great one. Take care.